Hey there, welcome to this video where I am going to show you how to fix the O-ring on an 80s G.I. Joe figure. So this is the little O-ring here. We all know the figures. You got a G.I. Joe. That O-ring is inside there that keeps the legs attached to the body. But they break. So you end up with a body, the little waist piece, and then the legs. So I'm going to show you how to repair it. So today I'm going to repair, I've just repaired the Baroness, and now I'm going to repair Eels here. So what you're going to need is a little kit. I just ordered this one off Amazon. It's got your little O-rings in there, extra screws, little screwdriver, and those little T-bars for fixing the legs, which we'll do at a later time. But for right now, we've got our little screwdriver, we've got an O-ring, and just a handy multi-tool. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up Eels and take this little screw, put it in the back to unscrew that screw from the back. Now sometimes these don't want to move if they're rusted, especially Eels because it's a water toy. I've played with him in the water. So then I'll take my needle nose pliers just to get that extra leverage, give it a twist. The screw has moved and now I can get that screw out of the back. I recommend doing this, I'm using a paper plate just in case I drop the screw so I can see it and it don't go flying somewhere else. I also recommend doing one at a time. Don't do a whole assembly line of toys because each screw could be slightly different and you don't want to get them mixed up between figures. So now we've got the screw out. There's that little miniature screw right there. Put that there, and we've got the pieces. We take the bad O-ring out. You see that's dried out and broken. Toss that aside. Now we've got the front and back. So what I do here is I start with the legs and I get that hook. See that hook there? And I get my O-ring wrapped around that hook. There you go. You get that O-ring wrapped around the hook and I sort of stretch it out a bit and then pinch it. Then I take the waist piece and put it through. Now what you're going to see is when I get it through a little bit, ideally I get some of that O-ring exposed and I could take my needle nose pliers and get in there. Of course this worked really easily the last whole bunch I did, but now that I'm videoing it, it's not going to work. But what I want to do is get it in there, reach through with the pliers. Here, you know what? I'm going to try this a different way. So what I'm going to do is get the O-ring, get the O-ring, squeeze it like this, and then put it through the waist piece so it's coming out the top, and then squeeze that with the pliers. So now I've got one end coming out the bottom and one end with the pliers there, and I'm going to take the end that's coming out the bottom and wrap that onto my hook on the legs. There we go, on the hook, and then I can slowly maneuver that piece down. Now this one has a broken crotch piece, as is so common, but if you're doing one with the crotch piece intact, you just want to be really careful sliding that on because we all know those do break easily. Now my next move is to take the back piece, and you see where the O-ring goes around. I just take that, tuck it under the O-ring, and pull it like this. So now I've got the back piece, the O-ring on. Now, I like to lay that one down, and I sort of bend it back a bit, lay that down, keep it where it is. Now, I take my arms, and I straighten them out, and you want to make sure you're putting the right hand, the right arm on the right side, and the left arm on the left side, because that's a mistake you're only going to make once, is putting the wrong arms on the wrong side and then have to do the whole thing over again. Left arm on left side. So I straighten them out, straighten that little ball joint, have them completely out. Then I take the head and lay it in place. So now I've got everything in place except the torso piece. Now this can be annoying to get these on. They can be kind of tricky. And everything can fall apart. It's like one of those things you wish you had four hands so you could hold everything together. But this is a technique that I've figured out that helps make it a little easier. And so I got it laid out like that. I take my chest piece and I start at the head and I just put that part down over the neck and over the shoulders to keep it in place. put some pressure down, and then I slowly pull the waist part down and tuck the bottom of the torso in, and everything snaps into place. Quick and easy. Now I've got everything together, and all I have to do is hold it and put this little screw back in the back. There we go. And then grab my little screwdriver and tighten that guy in there. You want to get it in nice and tight, but don't do it so much that you're going to break it. These toys are old, you know, 30 years old, and the plastic can get kind of brittle. So tighten that in good, and there you go. Now I've got my figure, new O-ring, back in effect. Arms are on the correct sides, and that's Eels. Ready to go, ready to play. I just fixed my Baroness figure, and I just fixed my low light figure, and next up I got Dusty ready to get fixed up, and a couple of Vipers. So there you go, that's all you need. Now I got this little kit. It's got some of these little hook bars, the little screwdriver, and a bunch of O-rings, and I just got more O-rings. But I got this little kit on Amazon for not much money at all, and a little screwdriver, and that's all you really need, and then a pair of little pair of needle nose pliers for multi-tool, and there you go. So that's how you fix a G.I. Joe. Good luck, and have fun. Yo, Joe.